Right, so here is my modular system, and you probably saw it already if you're into modulars. It's a System 55 built out of Behringer Eurorack modules, of course. And again, I'm very pleased with it. So it has 3 921B oscillators, it has a 921A oscillator driver, and it has a 921 oscillator, so 4 oscillators all in all. The 921 I actually use a lot as an LFO in conjunction with the sequential switch, the 962, together with the 960 sequencer, to generate these Tangerine Dream style ratcheting sounds. It's a typical thing which Tangerine Dream used a lot in their songs. There is actually another video I made about how to create these ratcheting sounds. So I have the 4 VCOs, I have a random signal generator, that's a 903A, and I have a mixer, which by the way can be overdriven if you open it fully. That has some multiples, obviously. Then I have a low-pass filter, a 904A low-pass filter, and a 904B high-pass filter going into a 902 VCA. And I have down here, I have 3 envelope generators, the 911 envelope generators, which are driven either by a clock signal from a sequencer, but most often I use the IntelliJ MIDI interface to receive a MIDI clock or a signal from a keyboard. And that goes into a Doepfer clock divider. So I can get any types of clocks out of there. And what you also need to have to trigger those envelope generators is a 961 interface, which converts the normal gate signal, which is 5 volts, right, into what's called an S trigger, because these envelope generators, they need an S trigger input, like the old Moogs. I mean, they've basically been built exactly the same way the old Moog modular systems were. And so you need those to drive those. There is another PicoSynth LFO and sample and hold module in here. And then I have a Doepfer quad LFO, which goes into a very nice, and I forgot the make of this, attenuator, which is really cool because it's an active attenuator. It can mix the signals, it can invert them, and then many other things. It's a really, really cool module, very versatile. I have another clock divider from Doepfer because sometimes I want to trigger things coming out of the sequencer at a certain time. So it goes into here. Here's another sequencer from PicoSynth again. And there's a quantizer also from Pico. I love those Pico modules because they just take up so little space in the modular. And I use that to actually be able to somehow get a decent control voltage out of the sequencer. Otherwise, it's super difficult to dial in tones in here. I have a Doepfer A1012 low-pass gate in here, which is a gate and a Vectral-based filter and VCA, a very versatile module. I have another complete synthesizer voice here, which is a Doepfer A1116, and I have a little Doepfer 4-channel mixer. Then I go into again a PicoSynth DSP for reverb or delay, and then I go into an output module, which gives me a stereo signal. So that's basically what the modular module is all about. And there's you hear the 4 VCOs going here through a filter, giving you kind of a sitar based sound, which I need for a project which I'm currently doing. They're super stable compared to the original old Moog VCO, which constantly just lose tuning. And the reason is that there was no temperature compensation in those. And yeah, but if you listen to the album Switched on Bach from Wendy Carlos, there's actually a video on YouTube with her where she tells about the making of that album. By the way, that was the album which caught me and stroked me in a way that I said, and I was a little kid when I heard that the first time, I thought, I want to have a synthesizer. And actually I built the first one myself. I still have it. It's a Formant system. And yeah, so Wendy tells about how often she had to retune that thing because someone would open the studio door and a little bit of cold air would go in and the oscillators were all over the place. So this is not really something you would like to have in a musical instrument, right? So, and recently I added another module for which I still have to find some space, but I show it to you right now. So this is the latest addition to my modular rig, and it's built around a Vermona Melo Dicer, which is a stochastic sequence generator. And this is currently driving, again, these are Behringer Roland modules, so to speak, right? So I have a 140 dual envelope generator with an LFO. I have a dual 112 VCO. I have a dual 121 VCF, and I have a 130 VCA, double VCA. And this is how it sounds. With this, you can randomly generate new melodies. You can change the rhythm. And with the sliders, you can determine how often a certain tone will be generated. And you can program rests here, like that, right? You can have legato, and you can also change the frequency, obviously. And again, you can trigger this with a MIDI clock or whatever coming from a MIDI source. So that's the latest add-on for which I still have to find a decent place in the studio. But I totally love the Melo Dicer. It's a really, really cool piece of gear.